Hey, Scott from MyGrowthRings.com here.
And Seth from SethMarkwood.com.
Together, along with you, the three of us, we are Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. Welcome back to Tobacco Advent 2021, Day 5.
We are just strolling right along, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about tobacco this time.
Someone has been weed whacking for a very long time. Days even. Scott and Seth, Merry Christmas. I'm sending you 4 blends from my rotation, so we'll be getting to these throughout the course of Tobacco Advent. Today, we are smoking Lane Black Raz, and I am interested to see what Scott thinks of another tobacco we'll smoke later. Love the videos. Keep it up. Regards, Brian. Brian, thank you so much. Appreciate the extra love, multiple tobaccos. It's a huge help. So we're going to get straight into it.
Notice, I already started smoking and realized, oh wait,
Yeah, someone was on autopilot.
We're supposed to light up. Now what do I do? All right, our question of the day. How do you feel is the best way to overcome challenges in life? Not even proper English. How do you feel is the best way to overcome challenges in life?
I think it's definitely going to depend on the types of challenges, because that plays a role in how you approach them. But one thing that I've heard recently, within the last year, and wrote down on a post-it note and keep it on my computer monitor, is that many times we mentally make challenges bigger than they need to be. And so I think from the get-go, this phrase is, the unfortunate reality of the situation is blank, therefore the correct thing to do is blank. And just strip away,
I know where you got that.
Huh?
I know where you got that.
Acknowledge that something sucks, and then give yourself permission to do the right thing, because so many times we're the problem and making it a worse challenge, not the challenge itself.
Donald Miller. So
I come to that anytime when I'm feeling sorry for myself, and it is helpful to acknowledge that, the simple truth of the situation is this, but I know the right thing to do even if I don't want to.
That really is great advice, and it's simple. And Donald Miller himself, Donald Miller, author of the book that became a movie, The Fault in Their Stars, or Our Stars.
Wrong guy.
That's Green. What was his first book? What was Donald Miller's?
Green.
What was Donald Miller's?
Blue Light Jazz.
Blue Light Jazz.
Is the big
That's right.
movie.
That's right. But then the book is the story brand, or how to build a story brand, and it's the idea of, in thinking about for your business going to market, that it's not about your business, it's about your customer. And if the customer is the hero of their story, you as a company are not the hero of their story. I was talking about this new home we bought. I need to replace the wax rings in the toilets, right? The toilets all are a little bit loose. I know better than just tighten them down. I'm going to take them out completely, put new wax rings in.
Now, and you also know better than to just let it ride.
Yeah. Now, so let's say I didn't know anything about that, and so I'm gonna seek out someone to replace and fix the toilet wax rings. A plumbing company that positions themselves as, call us, we're the hero, we'll solve your problems, blah blah blah, is not nearly going to be nearly as effective or successful with me than somebody who is going to act as my guide and is there to help me have the best Thanksgiving possible by taking care of the plumbing issues, right? And imagine I'm now going to be the hero because my wife's not going to be on my back, because the bathroom smells, or whatever the issues would be. really interesting idea, and I think there's a lot of validity there, and especially for a small company who really can be personable.
Yeah.
To be a part of your experience, but not as your hero. You're the hero of your story. But that's great, because he talked about, there are things that you're going to have to say to your customer that may not be exactly what they want to hear, but they may be what they have to hear.
Or anybody, or things you have to say to yourself. I had to have a tough conversation this week with someone, and recognizing that having this tough conversation, I didn't want to have it, right? And so there was a lot of time rationalizing a way around having to have this, but the difficult reality of the situation is it had to be done, and so the best thing to do is just do it, and did it, and everything was good as a result, and it was awkward and difficult, but ultimately things are better having done that than having not done it and allowing it to fester and cause other problems.
That's really, really good. And I'll kind of piggyback onto that. And I would say don't sugarcoat the truth. And sometimes it's even to yourself, right? Because we want to look at the bright side of things. When we were looking at this previous house that we thought for sure we were going to put an offer on. And we'd been looking at it for weeks on Zillow. It was coming to the market, and there weren't a lot of pictures there. And then there were some pictures, and now we're able to see some details. And we're like, well, it looks like this might be an issue, but we can take care of that. And then we went to see it, and room after room after room, I caught myself saying, well, okay, we could always do this, we could always do that. The problem was they were charging a price that's at the top of the market. We should have been able to walk in there and take our shoes off and walk around on the carpet with bare feet.
Yeah.
Not have to say, once we buy this, we now need to put new carpeting in.
Yeah.
We now need to tear this old paneling that's got wallpaper on it. Okay, all those things. Sugarcoating the truth even to yourself can be a disaster. And so being honest with yourself and having that kind of emotional maturity to where you may not like it, but the only way to deal with it is in reality.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I am so drawn to studying some of the business and the psychology and behavioral books and ideas, because not only does it make you a better communicator and better at engaging with other people, but it also puts more arrows in your quiver, tools in your tool belt for doing a self-assessment. Right? You become more aware of when you're being influenced by outside things. Sometimes there are outside things in marketing. My wife and I booked a vacation recently, and in the process of booking it, I found myself in that exact situation of wanting to accept additional expenses because, well, we've already spent this amount, why not a little bit more? Well, that's contrast principle at work, right? That compared to the big thing, a little thing seems insignificant. But the little thing is still significant. It's a significant additional expense. And do we really need that? Or I noticed some of the marketing copy is exactly this kind of idea that they're talking about, for $200, we'll throw this in. And this is going to allow you to not have to worry about XYZ. I mean, it is very influencing, and the more you study these things, the more capable you become of recognizing when you are giving into these influences that are just so built in to us.
Oh yeah, so you've already pushed your budget to spend that $2,000 for the trip in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when you compare that to adding a $200 something, can't do that. Yeah, it's all good. So how about you? I mean, how do you deal with things like this in your life? How do you stay centered and avoid being influenced in ways that, if you had time to think about it, you wouldn't do it?
I think ultimately the answer to the question, which was how do you overcome challenges, is just the Nike approach. Just do it.
Just to overcome them?
Just do it. Yeah, I mean, that's why I said the challenge is being different. When you had knee surgery, right?
Yeah.
That's not a challenge you can mentally overcome, but you had to make sure your diet was right. You had to do PT. There's a lot of stuff, and ultimately, once you figure out the right thing to do, you got to do it.
Well, I tell you what, the PT was really the success there, and it sucked. It really did. But I talked to a number of people that had the same surgery prior to me, who commented about how I was able to snap back really fast. I forced myself to snap back really fast because I knew, do I want to spend 1 month in pain or 2 months in pain or 3 months in pain after the surgery? Let's just get this over with. Also, while I'm drugged up, I'm going to push myself because I know without those medicines, it's really going to hurt. So, yeah. Hey, think about that. In previous years where we sat here, not this last Christmas, but the Christmas before, I was in so much pain. You recall that I was having to get up every time Seth would stop recording. I had to get up and walk around and lean, and it's kind of wonderful. Both knees replaced back in 2019, end of the year, and it's very successful. If you're putting something like that off, stop putting it off. You know you need it, and imagine that you'll have that those fresh body parts or whatever it is you're putting off. That pain will be behind you, and you can get the best of the years you have left. Why wait and I suffered for a while, longer than I should have.
I remember you fought with the doctors that wanted to push it off, and I remember you finally said, look, if I'm going to have good years, let's have those now while everything else is working the way it ought.
That's right.
Why would I replace my knees when you've got arthritis and other stuff that's going to make it harder, and all the other joints? So live now while you can. All right, I really enjoyed this tobacco.
So this was the raspberry.
This was the raspberry, yeah.
It's funny, even that
There's
very
a raspberry flavor, I think.
There's something.
Yeah.
There's something. I'm getting something that's non-tobacco, right? So it's definitely an aromatic. And even that last puff I just took, it's still there. So it's holding on even after being in storage for a year. It's kind of surprising. You know? And not ideal storage. Ziploc baggie rolled up in a bag. So anyway, thank you. Good tobacco. Thanks for sharing it with us. Join us again tomorrow for day 6 of Tobacco Advent, and make it a great day.
Thanks. See ya.